Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own self life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, with they build strong business for strong country.
Sell yourself at your job. You sell yourself to your boss. How do you sell anything to anyone? How do you sell anything to anyone? For those of you watching this wondering why you care, because life is sales. You sell yourself to your partner. You sell yourself to your children. You sell yourself at your job. You sell yourself to your boss. You sell yourself to your clients. All of us are constantly.
Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own self life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also with they build strong business for strong country. Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own self life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also with they build strong business for strong country. Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own self life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also with they build strong business for strong country.
Famble, Kushe and Kabo to the market, the big market. Today we introduce a new program under the IGR set of programs where they focus on the private sector and how the private sector they thrive and how it can support and promote the growth of businesses. Me where they call the program to now, me na Melvin Foray. Today inside the program as a maiden edition, We just want generally look at within the private sector, how the private sector they contribute to the growth of the nation, which role then they play, and how government policies they affect the private sector. But we just want to introduce them and then talk about then thing ending. This program the focus on small businesses, big businesses, the investors, and even the government policies them will contribute to the growth of the private sector. Why we come with this kind of program? IGR, as we all know over the years, don't they support government and the growth of Sierra Leone through policy, as we can say, with a bridge ideas with policy. And we try to provide government and all stakeholders with the right policies, recommendations we go make the different sectors go. For over the years, we don't focus on governance and democratic governance. But we think, say, as Sierra Leone they go before, after we don't conduct 6 sets of elections, there is a need to focus on the private sector and how the private sector can contribute to the growth of Sierra Leone. So we introduced Big Market show. As part of that contribution there, we want to talk about ethical business practices. We want to give the private sector the platform for discuss the issues where they affect them and and government as well, and how government can help solve the issue then. Why all this matter? Now because when the private sector grow, salon go grow before. The private sector will provide jobs, it will provide opportunities for all man. And so we think that it's high time we focus on the private sector and see how we can make and grow. If you want to join me for make your contribution to this program, you will get opportunity for call on the number 072 641 729. On the number 072 641 729. You can even as well send a text message or follow me on my Facebook page and with other social media handles. We will read on our messages as we go along at True Talk FM on YouTube. But before we start and move further, let's go for a short break and then go for the market news.
Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who are make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Cabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we dey build strong business for strong country. You say, Fambu, welcome back. And make a member you say this program go take you till 6 p.m. So no go no side. This now what we get inside with news today. NACSA and SLRA don't join in for boost road work and rural economy. The National Commission for Social Action, NACSA, and the Sierra Leone Road Authority, SLRA, don't sign one big agreement for rehabilitate feeder road in a salon. This project, we then call Rural Economic Transformation Project, will make farmers they get easy access to markets, reduce transport costs, and help them sell agricultural products then quick. The work will target rural community then for open chance for small businesses, create work and reduce poverty. NACSA go dey do the community mobilization, while SLRA go dey supervise the technical part for make sure say the road dem last long. The two institutions then say this project go open door for agri-business and make the value chain strong and push inclusive economic growth. Dr. Waltin Dayo-Gilpin, Managing Director na Rokel Commercial Bank, AGCB, represent Salon Banking Sector na Ghana International Bank Converge 2025 conference na London. The event be focused on rethinking commodity finance for drive sustainable growth across Africa. One major highlight na been the announcement of €50 million trade finance package will be developed in partnership with the British International Investment, aimed for address Africa's trade financing gap and enhancing cross-border trade liquidity. Central Bank don cut monetary policy rate to 23.75% as inflation eases. This dey boost the business confidence. Dollar holds steady as pound and euro fluctuate against the leons. The US dollar remained stable against the leons last week, while the British pound and euro fluctuates due to global economic uncertainties. The dollar instability suggests a balance between foreign exchange demand and supply na Salon. Now for a market update. Today economic updates for una we listener there now on interest, prices and money. According to the Bank of Salon exchange rate, $1 equals to 22.59 leons and €1 equals to 30.60 leons. The average interest rate for lend money in a bank na 24%. And according to Statistics Salon, the annual inflation for June 2025 na 7.10%, wey come up from 7.55% inside May. We mark the third straight month of reduced one-digit inflation, and this na a sign say prices dey reduce. Now to we discussion proper. So Melvin, plenty people don dey hear about private sector, but not really understand other than be. So how you define private sector in Salon context, and other than are the key player wey make up the private sector?
Thank you very much. So we don't always say the private sector, the private sector. Simply put, the private sector na institutions or businesses wey not owned by the government. When are individuals they come up, take upon themselves and be part of, say we dey either do business or do something we not get any government interest. Now that's not the private sector. In short, normally in the economy you go say, or in the nation, you go say there are three sectors. You have the public sector, we get for do with government and government owned institutions. You have the voluntary or non-profit NGO sector, where are there international NGOs where they come for help in terms of aid, in terms of other goods. And then the third sector, we now the private sector, now the individuals, which we the individuals, me and you, they do in the private life that contributes to the growth of a nation. Now that in short, now a private sector.
Okay, so you can give a specific example of a business or industry where best represent the sector?
All right, so the private sector wide and diverse. It can start with that one green market to man market, Akuta Road market, where they sell in pepper, little pepper. Because itself they contribute to the economy. Or it can be like that manufacturer where they manufacture iron ore, the iron rod them. Or where they in this hospitality industry, we get big hotel. Or where they in the sports industry, we get big football team. All them one day, they all fall under the private sector. But one thing, key thing we can look at most times, all the examples I give, most of the things that they look for are for make profit. Buy, sell, provide a service, a good, with the aim of making profit. Now business people and Andy. You get the financial sector, when are banks or other financial service providers, there's a form part of the private sector. We put them all together. It can be one man business, It can be big business companies where you get several shareholders. You can be waiting who that they call the SMEs them. You can be partnership one, me and you one on one, or joint venture with different people. And also government can also get part of some businesses. But then later we'll go discuss on our what you call public owned enterprises. But before minus that, largely the private sector now individuals where they do business, where they help the economy for grow before.
Okay, so what I understand, you say private sector na individual dey, apart from government say another day.
Yes.
Okay, so how this private sector they operate and how they contribute directly to economic growth?
All right. So like I said, the sector diverse. It really big. Normally you can way they define the way they categorize them, you get what they call micro enterprises. And there are petty traders and the one in the we most likely can be owned by one person, sole proprietors. And you get small and medium enterprises where they're not big, but then they don't grow small. And sometimes it can be owned by one person or it can be owned by several people, but they're not big that way. And then you get large enterprises or corporations where that they are multiple and their volume can big. Then they contribute to the economy in different way. The economy consists of course, local economy, that which will they produce inside salon. But it consists of the import or trade economy, that is waiting with the import or export out of salon. The business what they do with other people and outside salon. When you put them all together, become the private sector. Now, how then they contribute to economic growth? Let me give an example, and it can be very practical. That tomatoes, where that market man, they sell that in tomatoes, what they sell in the market. It don't come on. You get the one who they make now, yeah? You get the one who they import. I just want to give an example of the one who they import. Normally, I go reach salon and I go reach the final person where go inside import. It will normally require somebody for import them. When somebody don't import them, that's not the importer. They can have the key, they clear the goods. Sometimes, you don't want to sell and direct. It go then give a wholesaler or distributor. We go distribute them to either big suppliers or supermarket, where they call the wholesalers. Then from the wholesalers, you can then now the market, the people who they sell the market, they go buy from the wholesaler and can sell them one the market, like the retailer. But if you notice, every side get junction way before the exchange they happen. Eh? So that importer, before even the import, he get for ask for, so also they pull money for import. He will get personal money. But you know go able day now, it take that whole money they can go America. Eh? So it go need an intermediary, and then the banks and kind inside, the financial sector, because now then they facilitate trade from one person to the other. So the importer go get for give money to the bank, and the bank then transfer that money there, so the person will there for export to the factory way the external. Now that importer there, A gets for employ people then for the nine business. In one green go run all side. So you don't create job. The financial sector, the bank we get for use. Not to the managing director no more. Go cancel them and do that transaction there. It go need person for work. It don't create a job. Eh? Now, the goods don't come inside. You go see them people in our Taki, some of them are government employed there. But if that private sector no make the import where the goods reach to Taki, nobody no go did it. Them people in our Taki no get job. So we require the private sector for import before somebody now attack get job, before the public sector worker get job. So they don't create job behind the back now attacking. But of course you get private people inside Wataki as well, where they provide other services. Now more jobs we don't create. From the Wataki to the wholesaler or the distributor, they all create jobs. That's now one big contribution with the private sector they do. Job creation. Now when you get jobs, when you create jobs, you will say, oh, well, then they do business. One, okay, the private sector, all them business people and they do that business for make profit. The bank, they do business for make profit. The wholesaler, they do business for make profit. The people that are attacking, they do business for make profit. They all want make profit. What's in the use of profit? Profit now for improve the life. That market woman don't go buy from the wholesaler. We therefore can sell. He can for make profit. But in your profit now, what you go do time? Now they take for pay picking school fee or buy school material. School they can open that. That mommy will get some of we go from that level. We'll granny them in the sell. So that's soap, ginger beer, and the rest. And that ginger beer or that soda soap or that pepper in the market, now don't sponsor boku people for let them become big people today and become educated. Education, then they invest into health, then they invest into housing, the also side and they that money they then they take live their life. Now called livelihood. And so the private sector also they contribute to individual livelihoods. Because if person don't make money, we all go sit all the way for their government pay with salary. That's not the other part with how the private players they contribute. Government, to say you get for pool money, for pay. Now the one way it is tax free. It tax the staff, the employee of businesses. It tax them because so the law say we makes more money because government they provide society and they provide security, they provide other things that the society will call public goods. Government say you self get for pay for them. Because one person, not to one person they use them. From that tax day, and government they pay. Also, government they tax the businesses themselves on the profit so then they make. Of course, we don't hear about GST, we don't hear about pay tax, we don't hear about different tax them. All that day, that tax the way government don't get it. Now it they use for invest into the public goods they want to talk about. Them public goods they are the hospital the way the government they build, the roads the way government they, you just talk about the news how NAXA and SLRE the partner for do road rehabilitation at the market there. Because if you not make a road there, the produce now the village there not go reach the big town, not go able access the market for let the able supply. All dandy. You see how critical it be, eh? Government, yes, they provide security, they provide public goods. But in the middle of everything, the private sector gets a role for play. Now I make like I always say the private sector now the engine of the economy. Because the day where the private sector they collapse, they go out to let government generate revenue for pay people and salary. If people still not get salary, how you go survive? Also, not all man government get for able employ. So if government not get for able employ all man, what's in the next thing? Who that get for employ the unemployed? Now where private sector get more business, more growth, now they employ the unemployed. So all lengthing in there, now make we need a critical private sector.
Okay, so when you talk about inclusive private sector, what did that mean?
So now, different people in the private sector or they play. Inside Saloya, we get foreign investors, we get local Sierra Leoneans, as in And then we get naturalized Sierra Leoneans. We practice an open market economy. An open market economy means, say, we don't get any blockage for anybody for start in business. That's all. Once
Anybody
it
can start.
meets the criteria where government does set. So it means that everybody for involved per business. But sometimes and they not all man get the same strength, the same muscle, the same manpower. So for let we get fair competition, for let we get open market, proper all man they able can into that businessman, that man in a village able sell in produce or in products. The local supplier able participate in procurement activities, even if you not get all the money. For let all that they able happen, now they say we need inclusive. Inclusive means all man they inside. And they say no, you know woman, you know for the business. The gender aspect there will for promote women empowerment, for promote women as market women there. Yeah. They are there. And we for create a platform for them for let the able work there. You get non-Sierra Leoneans that are here. They're also, of course, not for abuse. They're not for abuse the system, but for encourage them, let them participate. Also, an inclusive governance, private sector means say not all just few people and they dominate the market. Not to just all the contracts and they go to all the procurement government contracts they go to some few business people. No. An inclusive private sector means say everybody gets equal right based on your capacity and your manpower. And deliberate steps then government they take deliberate steps for ensure say the the ground the landscape is free for all man.
Okay.
So that one green set of people not go dominate the market. Tell me Kana Salon or in the previous years before you go hear say certain industry or sector in the market that certain people then go dominate them. Either the Lebanese or the Indian supermarket and it nothing no wrong Padani. But what about the Sierra Leoneans themselves? Wetin we they do for able participate, able open with supermarkets them, open with your industries, other possibly come on Kailaun, able get in stores, able realize we if government if government or prisons need products, able supply prisons directly rather than a consider even a free turn for work. Ekinde Kailaun and supply prisons the palm oil wey they need in their diet, or the plazas wey they need, or the pepper wey they need. If we create that kind private sector there, then we mean by an inclusive private sector.
Okay, so for example, there we get some market tips for una. We go epona, una we can go na market. So this now na regular market tips we go epona for buy smart and save small change inside the market. So whenever you dey go na market for go buy, number one, always compare price before you buy. Not buy na the first stall where you meet. Go around small, ask price na 2 or 3 places, then buy na the one way cheap and clean. Number two, you can buy bulk if you get plenty money in your hand. If you want buy yes, yabas, but mine you can buy by bag or by gallon, it go cheap. It go be more cheaper than what you dey buy one or what you dey buy every day. And number three, early morning shopping. Where you want buy fresh plazas, fresh fish. It go nice where you go na market in the morning. That's in the market woman like day where like you want sell quick and go back in the house. And you go get fresh thing there. Number four, learn for build good relationship with traders. If you get 1 or 2 trader where you always they buy from, They go dey gree for go dey sell give you better price or sometimes credit or first choice for good commodity. Number 5, seasonal buying. Buy thing dey wey plenty during the season. Like right now so, groundnut, pepper. Sometimes a day you can see mango, cassava, potato based on the season. Number 6, check the quality of the things that way you dey buy. Look the rest, watch the palmine. The palmine, smell am. Some markets dem dey dey sell palmine wey dem don mix am with juice. So watch am, dip your finger inside it. You go know if na the real one. And also always budget before you dey go na market, because you never can tell. You go don plan for go buy something, the way you reach there, your money no do. So always budget yourself and put miscellaneous in case of any emergency. So we dey go for a short break. When we come back, we will continue with the discussion proper.
Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who are make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we dey build strong business for strong country. Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who are make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Kabo Kabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we dey build strong business for strong country.
Welcome back from Budem. Remember, say the program will take you till 6 p.m. So now go side, stay by radio and listen the conversation as we dey go. So Melvin, where will they talk about private sector institutions? Them somebody go and make mention of IGR. So which role the Institutes for Governance when IGR they play as a private sector institution?
Okay, thank you. So, I know say Boku people will say, well, strictly speaking, the IGI is not in the private sector, it's in the voluntary sector.
Okay.
That's the third sector. That's not an NGO as a think tank, as a CSO. Because we work with they do not IGR, not to for profit, it's non-profit. So because of that, Bokumango, they wonder why IGI is getting into the private sector space and why in essay. I just to explain some of the roles of the private sector. Making money, making profits, improving people's lives, provide goods and services. We go help people, creating jobs and employment, drive innovation and progress. I want to digress small a bit on the innovation.
Okay.
You see, normally people can say government na kumbra. And so government they do business or not supposed to do business for make profit because government na kumbra, they not go able to make profit. And the motivation no good did for let it think beyond the basic service we they provide. But because the private sector, there is competition, all man the couch, that man me, the way they sell kaya before, wrap on a paper, and now then they sell kaya now with the young people, put on a bowl, put on a plastic, they don't different. What me cause now the same profits they look for, but now packaging, the branding and packaging don't different. The reason why, and because competition don't kind side, that person one selling product faster than that other ordinary one with the no more, na three no more. Because of that desire for make profits, now they drive innovation, now they drive change, now they drive improvement. So if you don't get that private sector where they think like that, things not go improve, things not go develop. Now they get industries in Sierra Leone. We don't begin produce iron ore in Sierra Leone. If the government no more they wait so they can produce iron ore, government are for not for profit. And able, not a good businessman as we can say. So because government not to be good businessman, you need somebody else to come into the sector and produce that iron ore. We go make them easy for we for build we yourself. Now that make innovation important. We add all lengthing in the way they do. What do I explain so? The employment to the goods that would the private sector they produce so the jobs that way they create to the profits way they make all that part they and they contribute to the economy and then call gross domestic products. That all the economic activities will happen inside a country we put them together. Now that they measure and say, regardez, Salon, on a made they produce 1 billion worth of goods and services, including employment and the rest. 20 years ago. But today, we are producing 8 billion as a GDP. We aggregate. That means a change don't happen. We don't get, and we say they feel them, we say they see them as Sierra Leoneans. First, mobile companies they don't trade before the war or during the war, maybe now 1 million or so. But now we get multiple, we get competition at that sector. Then we say factories they made before during the war, the factories they closed down. Now factories are opening, and they increase with domestic production. Then we say the mining industry may experience some challenges. So some mining companies may close. Now we get multiple mining companies coming together. What thing that it mean? It means say we get more opportunities for employment. It means say we get more opportunity for make money as an individual and as a business. And that's if you get more money, you go able to build a better house. You go able to afford a better health care. We go able to afford better roads. We go able to afford better stadium. All lengthening and they measure up. We go improve your life as Sierra Leoneans. We will improve your life as individuals and as businesses in Sierra Leone. When that happens, and then they say the country don't develop. The money part now the economy. The improvement of the life of the individuals, now they measure the development, which we call HDI, Human Development Index, because the economy they contribute to provide all the other things them where we need for let we grow.
Talk more about that HDI then.
The Human Development Index. Now several things. You get health fact, you get health, education, social, other social services. These are public services plus the economy. We add all together. It measure how human beings, how much a man don't grow. Today, how easy it be for saying picking up private school or access education. Currently, we're doing very well within the education sector with the environmental increase and the rest. It's part of the HDI, the social part. How the health sector they work, how they access doctors. If I've been 10 doctors immediately, do we have 50 doctors now, 20 doctors? So the doctor-patient ratio, all the kind side, All they show the level of development in the country. But all that's not possible. The doctor can do. But if you don't get money for pay the doctor, it will be challenging for you. For let the doctor provide the services and let yourself well. So because of that, the economy is very important. The economy drives. It's expected that when the private sector drives the economy grow. It will improve with earning capacity, with income, with individual income, and when you increase the individual income, it will lead to increase better lifestyle. We will afford for pay private doctors, private tutors, so picking them, that is private teachers, we will able to buy TV, we will able to buy electronics and the rest. So that's a measure of a growth. When the private sector grows, so we don't connect the private sector and grow one with human development. So wetin na IGR and business for all this? IGR na a think tank. We bridge in policy and data and policy through data. So with the advice, we dey do with research. Most people go know IGR say we are a research institution. We dey do research. We dey use for inform government about in policies, how policies dey work, wetin go work well, and wetin no dey work well. Most of we activities prior to now be on democracy and good governance. Yes, democracy is essential because now through democracy you will enjoy peace, you will enjoy stability, you will enjoy, and with stability and peace, if gun then the fire, if you did under duress, under a totalitarian state or authoritarian state, you not go able do business proper one. But you don't go able to get your livelihood as you want them. So that's why democracy is important. And me people then go agree with me say we don't try as Sierra Leoneans in the democratic space. We don't conduct about 6 to 7 elections now after the war. Yes, not 100% okay, but we're making progress and we don't climb the democratic space. But democracy alone not sufficient for let your life better. Not so for just go vote during elections. Now how that democracy they improve your life. If democracy dey, then you still the poverty high, you the people them, you the individual go be ask say, how this relevant to me? I making you can notice in the news, some people can say there is some trend about the reversal of democracy in some locations in West Africa. The reason why people may ask how democracy relevant to them, now then country then you go hear some man say who prefer military rule because democracy no me give them the dividend, because democracy no me improve their life. Governance no be become meaningful to them. So they may appeal, they may yearn for, because in human nobody no want they stagnant. Everybody want grow, everybody want improve. Because of that, they opted for military regime, or they are practicing military regime. Well, freedom of speech and the rest not good. But the primary driver of that change is because democracy not become meaningful to the people alive. So we see and say the next step, logical step of IGI work. Now how we go make democracy meaningful in the lives of Sierra Leoneans? How can we how people go see and say, okay, yes, we need elections, we need for practice democracy, we need for improve institutions. When we do the wire, will life go better? And part of them are for support an inclusive private sector. I just talk small how what you mean by inclusive private sector. That how do we support inclusive private sector? So IGR don't sit on this year, or don't do we start 5 years. We don't review work, we don't do strategic plan, and we don't identify the key pillars. With the democratic work, they continue. Definitely. But we need for support democracy with livelihood activities. We're promoting. Part of that inclusive private sector day, now forget a private sector with high level of integrity. Current this in Sierra Leone, a government they drive majority of the economy because the private sector not big enough yet for take over government. How government they drive them? Through procurement. The provision of public goods. Public goods now like the roads, hospitals, and anything in there. Now government is provider right now. But those things also could be provided by the private sector. Now, for let we improve that process so that Boku people will expand the private sector. Government go able, if we get efficiency means say if they don't give this person this contract for let it deliver medicines to the health sector. If na in one grain no more you dey give, and they become reluctant. And they become and then they even worry himself. He can just go buy any kind of drugs. He can't deliver because competition not there. But remember, so we talk about innovation and competition. Outside competition they will provide better service. They will provide better drugs. They will provide better roads. Because not to one company no more, not to gentle no more they make road now. Other people that they in the sector where they make road. Because of all them things they do. I just say, let we calm, let us support government. We they do with normal research work in different sectors. And see what thing they happen at the different private subsector of the private sector. Whether na the procurement landscape or whether na private sector institutions or whether na the agribusiness and agricultural field or that research they inform we work and we go make recommendations to government. But we just no one now stop at policy recommendation. We self at private as IGR one participate in supporting and building the skills of the private sector players. So we want to work with private sector players, the business support organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and the rest. We don't find out say this if we do a research in any sector or find out say this is a challenge. The next thing is to recommend the policy and help for solve that challenge there. So we not just want to talk now. We want to be active in the sector.
Okay, thank you very much, Melvin. Fambu member say yourself can be part of the program. If you get any suggestion or question, you can call or send a text message at number 072-641729. And you can say also call with WhatsApp line when at the same number or send a text at the number. So Melvin don't talk lengthily on the role with the private sector they play. Men who don't know say they say they create jobs, not to governments no more they give jobs to people. Like government in one grain not able even self that person where they do your own business, that market man, they all self get a role where they play. So for we listeners then our way one for go to listen the show. Waiting at the most important thing where they get for go to learn whose impacts this big market share so get for creates now their life.
Okay.
I'll make it talk about the show.
So so we think say we not get all the ideas. We need the contribution of the people. The ordinary individual, whether you do per business or you know do per business, you get a role for playing in the economy and the private sector. So we not go one they do their research then they will keep unto ourselves. We not go one they do them policy recommendations and they we keep unto ourselves. We say we for create the big market show. Big market, all thing the inside. The small business person, the big business person, the manufacturer, and the policies with government. We say we want side we dey discuss then thing and we want know what thing they happen at the Koto Road market. Why the price if the rice bag of rice don't go down and price don't go down. Why cup of rice no go dominate. We go one no. Sometimes the person at the cultural market go say, no, government and he talk about he solve the problem for the importers. But we where they don't get government not do nothing for we. We investigate and find out, say, yes, government, you clear some tax there under. But if you not do this A, B, C, D, that will get effects na the local market. So we need side USA will get that conversation there. USA we go able pass on the information and even talk to the people themselves. Say, una self. It's high time Sierra Unions go into business, big business. We don't just do petty trading, small businesses, but we need for migrate small now into large businesses. So we want to investigate ideas who go lead to Dandy and then communicate the ideas in there. So as part of the big market show, we therefore gain news information. What they happen at the market, the dollar rate. Because if you don't go buy and sell, you need for know almost dollar day now. So that we they talk to that about a woman, we get for go buy in China. When they talk to him Pakistan and China, he know. Say no dollar right now at 23 millions or 22 millions. You understand? He able negotiate or else they not able make profit or calculate. So he need the information in it. So we get forget news, market news. But also we get forget part of the program where they therefore purely educate. We private sector people they need not just information, but they need skills. They need for no side for go get their skills then they need tips. So we get market tips or business tips. Wherein we go look at different people. Like today, we'll talk about sales. Everybody needs for sale. Viju na Tambakwayo na a renowned entrepreneur in Africa. So we need their information in it. But the critical part by the whole show is that discussion we get forget. We get forget how different people from government, from private sector players, business support organizations, from the financial services, from bank of saloon. They all get for calm tell we waiting at their role, waiting that they do for help for push this private sector go before. We get for talk to private sector banks, we get for talk to microfinance institutions. If you talk to business people, and the number one thing then will tell you for small businesses, now the interest rate, how we high this. So we need for talk to the MFIs and bank of saloon. How we cable put waiting at some of the things that where they need for do or where they do for put their price, their rates then they down. All the goal now for reduce and just reduce the loss with the private sector players, private sector people and they do, the business people and they do, but then increase their profit. So we they look at them policy then we get for call all man. We get for spotlight individual entrepreneurs. You get people them way they do very well in the business sector. Where they produce a lot of products now. We get young people where they perform excellently. So what do we do next? We need for spotlight them. Let Sierra Leoneans know say Madam Woki they produce gara. Or we get one franchise, one good restaurant franchise, roof garden, where they do this. We get Sierra Leoneans where they manufacture this. Where they manufacture, we need that spotlight. Or we get excellent bankers, when are Sierra Leoneans, who they lead banking institutions. We need for talk to them because if you don't sell yourself, nobody needs sell you. And part of the role of this program are for to sell them people and they sell the private sector and show say we put out the information there. So whilst with the pressure we go to talk about government and in policies there, we also go to talk about things we go help the private sector. And all that now can put together. Now they put together and we do the we call it the big market show. We get for go out. So we not just get for sit down inside this studio and they talk big English and talk to big people now. We get for go to the local people then. and talk with them and say how the business they go. We get for tell people and say, we get for get procurement news. If government get major adverts, some of the parts of the news or business tips who will get for gay. Now sometimes they publish adverts they will come out. So those who are listening, we're not going to read, but the yeri, I make this program will do in Creole. So it not become part of other program where they speak English. But we want to make it as practical as possible so that we people them one go be motivated for going to business. Two, go lack for do business and go know how for do business, how for access money and everything. And boku that thing and they therefore they at the show.
Okay, thanks again. Well, Fambude, we will go for a short break, and when we come back, we get one video we want to watch, the business people and make una learn from them. Business not for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Cabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we build strong business for strong country.
How do you sell anything to anyone? For those of you watching this wondering why you care, because life is sales. You sell yourself to your partner, you sell yourself to your children, you sell yourself at your job, you sell yourself to your boss, you sell yourself to your clients. All of us are constantly selling, especially those of you that think you're not. And there's one way to sell anything to anybody. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's not a trick. It's a way of living your life. Build trust. How do you build trust? Commit to something, deliver on it, communicate effectively, and make sure that everything you say you're going to do, you do. And if you can't, that you communicate up front. This is an age-old wisdom. It's probably not going to trend this video. You're not going to share it a million times with your friends because it sounds common sense. You know, the crazy thing about living in the world in 2023 is the common things are just not so common anymore. You want to stand out, build trust, do the simple things really, really well. Hope that helps you. Subscribe for more.
Okay, I hope so now don't watch and learn from the video. So Melvin, what will be your last word to Fambule?
Hi Fambule. Boku tinene for talk party show. This is not the first edition, maiden edition. And we believe say through this program, through the big market, we will able to change the lives of Sierra Leonean businesses, private sector players. We will change the lives of Sierra Leoneans, and we will able to contribute to the growth of Salone. Because between me and you, we Sierra Leoneans are trying. Boku people in the way in the private sector they try. We're doing well. Boku still need for be done. But the best way we can do them thing now where you talk about them, where you show them the examples of how it's done, and then waiting all man they do. So I hope say you go join me next week. When we will continue for talk, we want to talk with some key private sector players and see what thing then they do and how who side the private sector they and how waiting they need for let the private sector go. And then we'll go spotlight one or two Sierra Leonean businesses. So I look forward to Una, for Una be part of this program so that we go help for build Salone. That's all I thank you.
Business not for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who will make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation, where they shape the country in future. Kushe, and Kabo Kabo na the big market. Outside where they talk about business and how for make business go and change we life. Every week, we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in they affect price, profits, and other things there, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we dey build strong business for strong country.